you know it's time. IAfootball is back, and we've got you covered with everything from the biggest hits to the biggest runs, from in-game highlights to post-game breakdowns.
We are here talking any and all high school football.
From day one all the way to the dome, we've got you covered at IAfootball.
It's a Monday. You're seeing my face. That can only mean one thing. Iowa high school football rankings are just around the corner. Welcome in, everybody. We've got some announcements. Oh, hold on. Let me add myself in here. Hold on with me. There we go. There I am. All right. Got some announcements here. Looks like we should be good to go now. New rankings coming today. On Rockfin, preseason all IAfootball teams are up for our subscribers. Again, that is the number one way you can support us and what we do at IAfootball. I also saw a lot of comments on our Player of the Week voting thing on Facebook saying, oh, you missed him. Oh, you missed him. This is why I highly recommend you guys to DM us stats, highlights, clips, whatever it may be. I got so many of them. I appreciate everyone who did, but at the end of the day, I can't hit all 7 classes. I can't look through every single box score. So yeah, people probably got snubbed. I'm not gonna sit here and say I picked the 9 best guys. I probably didn't. I picked a lot of people who sent us good clips and good stat lines, and so I apologize if I missed a kid who went off. I'm sorry. I'm happy for them, but at the end of the day, there's only a few of us looking through all those stats and trying to find 9 guys who deserve to be on that voting list. I think those 9 guys who I did get deserve to be on that voting list. But again, if you want to make sure you get on it, or at least you're seen by me, please DM me clips and stat lines Friday night, Saturday. I look through all of them. I see them all. Can't guarantee you're going to make the list, but at least you can guarantee I can see them. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if any feelings are hurt. I promise there's no hard feelings. And it looks like Eddie Fulton. It looks like he's the one that won off and that I missed. So shout out to him. Apologize for not getting you on the list. Coming up Wednesday, Locks and Dogs. The usual, Nick and I go through each game. We'll talk about how we did last week, and then we'll break down this week. And as always, advertisement spots still open. If you work for a business, you own a business, and you want to grow your brand alongside with us, we've got some amazing opportunities. You can be our title sponsor. You can be the sponsor of this video. You can be the sponsor of our Saturday scoreboard, which always does well. And of course, drop us a like and subscribe. If you notice, I don't post this link right to socials. I'll post this on YouTube and let it sit. So the number one way you can, catch us, everything right away, is you subscribe. Hit that little bell button on our page. It'll send you post notifications every time we post again. I don't post the link right away. So those people who have those notifications on are the ones that see it first. So I highly recommend doing that. Let's get right into it, though. I got 7 classes covered. We're going to briefly cover them all. I'm not going to talk too crazy on each of them. Here is Class 5A. As you can see, we've got a new number 1 and number 2, and they just happened to play this week. Valley and Dowling. Valley coming off a big win over Southeast Polk. Dowling coming off a big win over Kennedy. Ankeny Centennial also making some noise. They beat up on Ankeny and the Hawks, winning the battle for Ankeny. Congrats to the Jags. Southeast Polk drops to 4. Waukee looked good. They've got a big one against Waukee Northwest this week, kind of leaning on going to that one. If you've got another game you think I should go to, hit me up on my personals, anywhere you can find my stuff. I'm all ears as to where I should head this Friday. Other stuff, Johnson jumps into the top 10. They're at number 11 last week. They beat Waukee Northwest. And then 2 new guys, Iowa City Liberty. They got a really good win over Iowa City West. And then Urbandale, they lost a tight one to Indianola, but they will make a jump in. I was also really impressed with Sioux City East, who won a Thursday game against Glenwood. Saw some clips of them. That team looks pretty fun way out west in Sioux City. Cedar Falls also debuted their new stadium at number 13. That was a really cool clip if you didn't see that on our socials. Moving on to Class 4A. No real crazy changes at the top. Just a lot of good games, though. Obviously, Indianola was able to pick up a win over a 5A opponent. Gilbert won a really good one over DCG, who, as you can see, enters the rankings. North Polk and Bondurant, what a game. Like 35-7.5. The Comets storm all the way back and beat Bondurant Farrar. Those are 2 teams that are going to be neck and neck a lot of the way. That's going to be a huge RPI match down the road. Norwalk gets a big rivalry win over Carlisle, 35-7. And Pella, they beat Ballard 29-14. They kind of flip-flop in those rankings. Ballard was 11. Now Pella jumps them. Waverly Shell Rock, they lost a close one to Xavier. I like what I saw from them. It looked like they're pretty competitive. Obviously, Xavier being way up there at number 4. And your new teams, like I said, DCG lost a really tight one to Gilbert in overtime. And then Winterset, My dog of the week, they end up beating Creston 31-6. Winterset could be a team to look out for. Again, picking up a ranked win early on in the season. They hop in at number 16. Let's move on to Class 3A. Let's see here. Got some movement, as you can see. Algona, obviously with a massive win over 2A number 1 Spirit Lake, they're going to jump up. Clear Lake drops down 1. I think that was really just a business decision there. And Independence looked really good over North Fayette Valley. EJ Miller is the name we're going to be talking about a lot this year. West Delaware takes a little bit of a dip. I'm not panicking at all, though. They fell to Western Dubuque, top 5 team and a class ahead of them. Bishop Hewlin, I thought maybe could have gotten a raise. Our 3A ranker thought otherwise. They dominated a really good 2A team in Kemper. Webster City picked up a nice win over 4A Fort Dodge. They jump up 2 spots into the top 10. MOC Floyd Valley, they drop 1. They did beat Unity Christian. Really close game there. Humboldt got a win over Spencer. Nevada, win over West Marshall. Waller Catholic, they're new into our rankings. They beat Comanche last week. And Carroll, welcome into our rankings. They had a nice win over Greene County last week. They've got Gilbert this week. That one should be one to look out for. Harlan, they fell to Lewis Central. That's a tough loss. I mean, Lewis Central, obviously the number 1 team in Class 4A right now. So Harlan will stick in. And Assumption also fell to number 2 Solon. They'll stick in at number 16 as well. There is your Class 3A rankings for week 2. If you like me going quickly, let me know if you'd rather me do like slower breakdowns like I did last year. I kind of just figured you guys like me going in and out on this type of stuff. Nice and easy. Moving on to 2A though. No movement inside the top 3. You got Van Meter moving up a spot. They got a nice one over Underwood. PCM, our ranker says it right here. This is one of their sleeper picks in 2A. This team dominated Sigourney Kyoto, and they've got a running back in Adrian Robbins that's going to just perform really well. Quarterback Van Gorp is also really good as well. Kemper takes a dip. Like I said, they lost to Heelan. Cherokee started with a 37-8 win. Roland Story, shutout win again for them. Des Moines Christian, they're your big riser in Class 2A. Dismantled Pella Christian 56-0. They got Van Meter next week. That one's going to be one to look out for. Central Lyon, Georgia Little Rock lost a really tough one to Emmitsburg, a team a few classes below them. Emmitsburg's a really good team, though, so not getting dinged for that. They're going to hang on at number 10. Estherville Lincoln Central drops 2. Meepo, Clarenda stay the same. Monticello drops down 3 spots. They lost a tough one to Mount Vernon. And then Davis County and Union Community down there at the bottom. They are your new teams ranked in Class 2A this week. Let's move on to Class 1A. Not much movement at the top. Grundy Center. Really good resume building win for them week 1, 21-7 over Dyke. New Hartford. Tiernan Vokes caught 2 touchdowns. He was DMing his stat line. Congrats to him. MFL Marmac, 9-7 win over Crushwood. Nothing crazy, but this MFL Marmac's a team that's coming off a runner-up year and returning a lot of good pieces. Emmitsburg is your riser. They jump into the top 3 after a win over Central Lyon. Georgia Little Rock. Can't underestimate how big of a win that is. That's a really good Class 2A opponent that they went and beat by 1 point. OABCIG is looking like a scary team as well. Bryson Kolar could be dangerous as he's throwing to Jackson Zine all year. They beat Esterville Lincoln Central 47-20. Underwood, they're dropping 2 spots. They lost to Van Meter class, a team a class above them. No reason to panic there. Regina Catholic looked good in their debut, beating West Liberty. Dyke New Hartford again falling to Grundy Center. They dropped 3 spots. Nothing to panic on yet. Sumner Fredericksburg looked good, shutting out East Buchanan. AHSTW, a big jumper. They jump up 4 spots. They won 26-21 in a road game against Tri-Center. Wilton jumps into the top 10. They look good in a win over McPrairie, 19-14. Trainer jumps up a spot as well. They beat St. Albert. Beckman Catholic and West Sioux welcome into your rankings at 12 and 13. South Hamilton, they dropped 4 spots in a loss to South Hardin. And then Woodward Granger takes down their big rival Madrid in overtime, double overtime, something crazy. They jump into your top 16. And the Interstate 35 basically swaps spots with Pleasantville. Pleasantville is ranked at number 16. Interstate 35 goes and beats them. They take their spot. Here they are at number 16. Let's move on to Class A. A few classes left here. to run through. ACGC, they're your new number one. I believe this is the only new number one we have this week. They looked really good in a win at Ogden. West Hancock was your number one. They still won. It's just a lot closer in a game over Garner, Hayfield, Ventura. So our Class A ranker is now deeming ACGC as the best team in Class A right now. Madrid drops down a spot. Preston Wicker should be back in week 2. Again, they fell to Woodward Granger. Not really anything to panic on there. Woodbury Central took what I believe is their 9th win in a row over Lawton Bronson in that big rivalry game. Looks like they got a quarterback too that they like in Jackson Verschuer. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. Drop a comment if I am. I just realized I've had this. Has this video? Oh nope, we're good to go. I'm just seeing ghosts. Sorry about that. Logan Magnolia. I'm sorry. Lisbon stays there at number 5. Logan Magnolia and Wapsie Valley kind of switch spots there. Earlham was your big riser in Class A this week. And Caleb Smith is a name to look out for. Ran for 200-plus yards, 3 scores. They beat up on Central Decatur. Starmont hangs on right there. East Buchanan, they lost to a team in class ahead of them. And Sumner Fredericksburg, a ranked team at that. So they dropped down 2 spots. Still hanging on inside the top 10. Linville Sully got a really big win at Danville coming down to the wire. I believe Montgomery had 3 picks in that game. I also got a clip of them and their game-winning touchdown. I'm going to throw that up on socials this week. Pekin was a big riser. They jump up 3 spots. Columbus drops down 2 spots. They lost to Meepo. St. Ansgar and South Winneshiek are your new team. South Winneshiek barely lost to Starmont in a 1-point game. So our Class A ranker threw them in the top 15. And then MMCRU lost in a tough one to Cherokee Washington. That's a really good 2A team, though, so not too much to punish them on. They're still hanging on inside your top 16. Final class here, 8-man. Let's get this going. We do have some movement in Class 8-man. Nothing inside the top 3. Bedford jumps up a spot. Waco jumps up a spot. I saw them in person. They look really good. Don Bosco got that big top 10 win over Gladberg Rhinebeck. They're up a spot. Audubon gets a win over Cam. I know Cam is without speaker, so you got to take that into account. But nevertheless, Audubon getting a top 10 win. They're going to jump up. Janesville also jumping up. A lot of teams jumping up inside our top 10. Gladbrook Rhinebeck takes it down. Iowa Valley could be a team to look out for. Again, Nolan Kriegel and company. They've got some skill guys. Cam dropped 7 spots after the loss to Audubon. BGM Brooklyn, Woodbine, Key High, and Baxter all jump up a spot. In Southeast Warren is your new team after they beat Montezuma last week. So there you go. There's all your rankings in 12 minutes. I'd say that's pretty dang good. Again, drop a comment if you like this style. If you'd rather have me go slower and go class by class, drop a comment too. I'm more than happy to do that. I kind of just figure you guys want to get in and out with these rankings. Appreciate you for tuning in. Again, this is your week 2 rankings. If you got a sponsorship in mind or an idea, I'm all ears. Feel free to hit us up. Congrats to our players of the week. That voting is going on Facebook right now. Go check that out. And yeah, week 2 right around the corner. Let's do this.